Hey, thanks for tuning in to see what's happening around Grace Church. You know, as fall comes, we spend every year trying to figure out how do we communicate everything that's happening. As all of the ministry teams kick off their regular programming and all of these other events are at play as we're trying to meet the needs of our community and we're trying to meet the needs of our fellowship here within the body. There's so much going on. And so we just want to encourage you to take a look at the church website, to look at the events page, and to see what all is going on there. Because even in these next several days, there are several things that we could be talking about. And if you have the church app, that's a great place for you to find that quickly or readily on your phone as it's right there and available. And so we want to encourage you to download the church app if you haven't, because it's a great way to stay connected and plugged into what's happening all throughout the church. With that in mind, coming up on October 6th, we have a all generational family prayer night. And we're going to have different stations for prayer. We're inviting the little ones as well as those who are older, whoever it may be. We want everyone coming together before God's throne in prayer to worship, to praise, to seek after Him. And we believe that it's so critical for younger kids, for teenagers, for junior hires to see the commitment of older adults. That this isn't just a prayer time that's for them, but they're willing to model it for the kids and that they're serious about their pursuit of God. So, with that, we want to invite you to be a role model in how you demonstrate your pursuit of Christ, in how you are purposeful about wanting to come together with kids in prayer and to be purposeful in pursuing the Lord in that time. It speaks volumes. It's a way for you to lead just by seeking the Lord and being present. So we want to encourage you to be here on October 6th in the evening. On October 10th, we have a Best Agers Fall Color Tour, and that's going to start here at the Grace Church parking lot at 11:30, and it's going to go until about 4 p.m. They'll get back, and they're going to go to the Linquist home, where they're then going to have some hay rides and some other fun things available. And so that's going to be a beautiful opportunity for those who are in that Best Agers group. We have a Grace Kids Family Fun Day out at the Linquist that following Sunday, so it's October 13th, and that's just gonna be from 12 to 2 p.m. This is something they've done year after year. So if you have younger kids, if you have kids who have been a part of Grace Kids and what's going on there, then you are invited, and we want you to know how to get there. So please make sure that you interact with the welcome desk or you ask the ladies in the office. You get that information so that you can join us for what is a really fun day for young families. We also have a Woodland church visit that day. Woodland is the church that has been following us online in our teaching series, and they've asked us, how can we build stronger relationships together? Not just leadership to leadership, but they want to know, how do we be better connected church to church? And so we talked it through, and one of the ideas was that maybe one Sunday we could come up there and meet some of them, and another Sunday they could come down and they could worship with us. And so we're looking forward to everyone having opportunity to get to know some of the precious people at this church. And so we want to invite you on that Sunday, October 13th, to come in and to be willing to go to sign up to register, to go to Woodland on the church bus that morning and to have a meal with them afterwards before you're returning home. So please, if you're able, look into that, because it's a wonderful opportunity to be an encouragement and a support to brothers and sisters in Christ who are just in a time of needing fellowship with other believers. Finally, the last thing I want to announce is that it's our budget prep season. So we're preparing for next year. We're asking all of our ministry teams to submit their budgets, which means we want to invite you, if you want to have voice in the discussion, if you want to have recommendations on how money is spent by different ministry teams, now is the time to interact, to engage them, and to let them know the ideas that the Lord has pressed into you and what you're thinking about and what might work. And so if that's something that's on your heart, that's on your mind, I want to encourage you to reach out to whatever ministry team you're thinking of and to just share with them what the Lord has put on your heart, put on your mind. The last thing I want to discuss is that October is Domestic Abuse Awareness Month. And we here at Grace want to take domestic abuse seriously. And so we just want to encourage you to be mindful, to be prayerful about identifying and seeing some of those red flags, and maybe interacting with our DART team, our domestic abuse response team, about what are some of those red flags and how do we prayerfully discern what is happening, and where do we point these people when we encounter them? How do we help them and not leave them in a situation where they are in desperate need? And so, as we go through this month, it's a heavy topic. It's a hard thing to walk through, but we have people who are ready to step in. We have people who are ready to give direction and who are ready to meet with and give counsel to those who are in need. So, just as a reminder for us all to be praying that the Lord would go before us, that He'd be protecting our families, that He'd be protecting families within our community, and that where there is abuse, where there is significant strife within the family context, that we would appropriately intervene, that we would, on behalf of family members and people we love and care about, take the appropriate steps in bringing it to the attention of the DART team, bringing it to the attention of those who need to know, so that we can handle this in a way that will be helpful for everyone. With that, I am so grateful for you, and I'm grateful for all the ways that the Lord is going before us. As a church, it's an exciting time. It's an exciting season to be in the church. And we've had some very neat things happen just in the last several days. We've had a gentleman who's come to Christ, and we'll be talking about that more a little bit later in this year. But there is movement within the church, and every week we're seeing new faces as we come into fall, and there are people who are getting connected. So be intentional, be praying that the Lord will go before us, that we will continue to have influence and reach in this community, and that God's kingdom will be built. We're excited to worship with you on Sunday.